All right, what to expect when trying to be a plumber. Again, this is going to depend on what type of work you're in. So I'm going to talk about the generalities that will apply to service, construction. Well, that's about the two, service and construction. So, uh, when I started getting serious about plumbing, I was like 23 years old, and like I got my apprentice card again, and I tried real hard, and within 3 years, I made over 100 grand. And it's because you can get a tradesman license in Texas, and I did that, and I went out and made a lot of money doing commission-based sales, but I left that pretty quick after doing that for a little while and went on to other shit and made, still made good, didn't go back under 100 grand the whole time. So I want to explain to y'all why I was able to do that, because like my uncle's a plumber, and I passed him, after 3 years of being like a legit, this is my profession type plumber. My wife's family, they're all plumbers, and I made more money already than all of them. And, this is the hard truth about that. Like, I had to sacrifice a lot. I had to sacrifice a lot to get there. I had to always be available, on weekends, on late nights. It didn't make a fuck if I was doing construction or service, especially service. I had to work a ton of weekends and nights. But even construction, I had a ton. I had to go out of town a lot. I had to do whatever it took to get the job done. Whatever it took, I did it. And I took ownership over every job I did. And like, it mattered to me that anywhere I went, the company was in the green and they were making money. And that's how I justified, my demands for more money. And then, shortly after the company I was at couldn't keep up with my pay, I went and started doing commission-based pay and made money like I should have based off my performance. And then I found a way to parlay that into good wages doing commercial service. And I did commercial service for like 8 years solid. And then I started my business up, and I'm doing construction again. Now, the guys that work for me, like, I pay really good. I pay way more than market. Guys that work for me, they're living good lives. It's a good deal. I'm giving guys off tomorrow. They paid holidays, vacations already. But the way they can get more money from me is just, it's really simple. It's like, I have production, I quote work, and I figure like, hey, this work may take, I'm expecting we're going to get this done in 6 days, but I'm going to plan on it taking 8 days. And I'm going to plan on this much material, but I'm going to add, 20% for miscellaneous and, some other bullshit and mark it all up. And so I'll give you a job to do, and if you can get that shit done, with quality work, or else I'll make you cut it out and redo it. But with, if you can get it done with quality work in 5 days, there's a lot of money, a lot of profit on that job, and I have no problem sharing that with you. So it's like, hey, every time I send him on a job, because I keep track of this shit. I know what guys, like, I've got a system that tells me the profitability of each job, each truck, whatever guys, doing. And if I see you're making me more money, you've easily justified getting more pay, And I'll tell you this, like the guys that make you good money, you can get away with paying them $65 an hour. The only reason you can't is because you have to make up for the mean, the average. And, basically you're going to have a bunch of average guys, which is unfortunate for the superstars. But if you want to make a lot of money, you got to really give a fuck. And, if you're not trying to make a lot of money in this, I don't know why the fuck you're doing it. I really don't. I don't know what's the point in, like, making $60K a year when you could go get a job, making close to that, working for the city or something, and like, if you're not going to be a go-getter, I don't know why you'd even do this, because this trade is like pure Americana. Like, if you're smart and you work hard, you can get whatever the fuck you want in this trade. You really can. Now, if there's any of you guys that are considering opening a business, I've only been doing mine for like 5 months now, maybe 4 or 5 months, and we are fucking crushing it. We're doing over $1 million a year, basically. I mean, I haven't even been open a year or so, but we're doing over 100 grand a month. So that revenue works out to like, potentially like our projections show like 2024, we should do like 1.2, 1.3 million, because we've already got a lot booked through March already. But that's neither here nor there. If you want to own a company, I highly recommend it if you're the type of guy that works at a shop right now, any shop you've ever worked at. First off, I think you need to be doing it for about 10 years before you try to open a company. I really would recommend that. I mean, like, if you're really sharp, you can do it after 5 or 6 years, but you're gonna fuck up hard. Like, you know, I've already made all my fuck ups and on other people's money. It's not like I was trying to, but like I've made some big fuck ups, and you know, I've made all the good ones already. So I get to avoid that, at least where it's me. I still got guys on the field doing shit I don't like, but if you want to own your own company and you're the type of guy that's a high performer, it's gonna be the same when you own a business. And that's the part that I didn't expect. I thought, like, well, only the best of the best are going to be opening businesses up, and it's just not the case. It's really the people that got the fucking nuts, right? It's the people that got the cojones. So there's a lot of people with dumb confidence, a lot of people that are too dumb to realize the complexity of owning a plumbing business, but you know, want to do it anyway because they just want to be their own man, make their own money. And just like you would be the high performer in the shop you're at, you're going to be the high performer amongst your peers of business owners, because like that's what I was shocked is like the value in me. I never realized how valuable a competent quality plumber was, who, you know, is not full of shit and is where he says he's going to be and things like that. And holy fuck, is it easy to separate yourself from the field. So if you are a top performer and you are hungry, yes, for real, go open a business. Because I could have done it a million ways. I could have went with service, and I, like, in all honesty, I was building up my service and it was looking good. But I went construction ultimately because it's easier for me to hire construction. It's because service is a bitch, and I don't want to make guys be on call. And in order to do service, you got to charge higher rates, which I still make the same money doing construction that I would make doing service. It's just service, you have to do that in half the time. And so you got to charge people basically double because you're only working half the time, really, between driving around all fucking day and, you know, nonsense that's not really billable. So I do construction because I can make the same fucking money, and I don't have half the town thinking I'm a crook. But I could have went either way. And if you're a good performer, trust me, whichever way you try to go, like the construction may be a little tougher to start out with unless you have like some sort of person you've met who wants you to. But it didn't take long for people to find me that I didn't have, like, that weren't my service customers before. They found me, and I did a good job, and like I've built up a dope ass clientele that I didn't have, you know, when I started this business. That is like completely changed the way I see things, because it's like I said, I'm able to pull in over 6 figures every month. Well, we've only done it, you know, 2 months, so not every month. You know, don't let me fucking lie. But like I'm getting new customers. My margins are going up. Like I know how to price this shit, so I guess that helps a bit. But like my margins are going up, and I didn't realize I could make this much money being as fucking dumb as I am, you know, like, and not really that qualified or knowing anybody. So yeah, if you're a top performer, just have the nuts to do it, and trust me, you'll do fine. Trust me, you'll make fucking money. As long as you're like for real and not trying to be a bitch about it. If you're like willing to go, like the first 3 months, I still haven't really taken a weekend off since I've done this started. But like I'm a lot of times I'm taking like half days and shit, you know. But you got to work. You know, you got to take every call that comes in, whether you want to or not. And you'll probably want to. You'll be surprised how motivated you are, and that shit will fucking take off, boy. It really will. Like, I mean, I've only been open for 5 months, and my dreams have kind of came true. Like, you know, like the money is fucking unreal. So, yeah, if you got the nuts and you're willing to work hard, give it a go. If you're not willing to work hard and do dirty shit and dig and work all night and suffer for the money, just don't waste your time. There's no point, because you only make average money, and you can go make average money doing a million fucking things that aren't fucking horrible, like plumbing. So if you're gonna do this horrible job, know that, have the fucking nuts and the thick skin to handle it, you know, give it your all, learn that shit, set yourself above the field, and it's unreal how much money you can make. This is another fucking long one, but I want to make one more note. The reason I made this video is because 3 years ago, after Thanksgiving, I made a video because my nephew said he wanted to be a plumber, and I just don't think people understand the negatives of being a plumber. So I kind of wanted to make a realistic video about, hey, this is hard, you know, it's not easy, and I had a lot of negative to say. And that video, it like after like 2 years, it had like 400 views maybe, and in the past like 4 months, that motherfucker shot up. We got thousands and thousands of views. It's like my most popular video by a mile, and I think that's because the economy is in really bad shape. And there's a lot of people kind of acting like plumbing is a get-rich-quick scheme, and I just think that, like, as I'm looking at that video, the analytics of it, a lot of the views are coming from search, and the video's titled "Should you be a plumber?" Which, I mean, I think that tells you a bit about the economy. So, I'm just trying to tell you, if you're thinking that plumbing is the route for you because of this economy, you're right. This is going to be a good trade in a bad economy, but it's still not really worth it if you're not, you know, made of the right shit. If you're not tough and willing to fucking go to work on the weekends and at night and whenever you got to do it and kind of do some hairy shit every now and again, it's probably not for you. But if you're a fucking cowboy and you're hungry and you're willing to do what it takes, you can really make a lot. So that's a long fucking video, but yeah.